Screen. Oh, wow. It wants me to share my full app instead of the just the tab. Could get a little dicey here, guys.
I don't see an issue.
You guys ready for the reveal? Actually, let me hit the music. Hit the wrong thing. Wait, what? I keep hitting the wrong button. All right. We're going to do a little bit of a different type of podcast that we usually do. We are going to make a video. I have Greg here with me. Greg, say hello.
What's up?
All right, well, that was a very enthusiastic what's up from Greg. And we have Stu Mac.
What's good?
Very famous Stu Mac. Gotten a shout out from just about every notable famous person in boxing. And we are here today to rank fighters by tier. We are going to now reveal to you the categories. There's the S category. What would you guys say S is?
I'd say, like, pound for pound, top 5-ish, maybe? Maybe,
Super.
like, top 4?
Super.
I think that should be
Like,
reserved.
top of the top.
I think it should be better than that. I think it should be people like we think people will be talking about for way past.
Yeah, but well, I think, yeah, I would agree.
But like
A tier can be part of that, I'd say.
what about if we were doing video games? Like, what would S be?
Metal Gear Solid.
No, you idiot. Like, what does S mean?
Fucking
S is like the super broken character. Like, it is the top of the top. A's
Really
probably
kind of
going to be
character, yeah.
the guys like that are the top tier, but not necessarily special. B's are going to be about title holder-ish. C's are right below that. D's are just okay fighters. E is like, ugh. And then we got the jobbers. Stu, what's a jobber?
Mostly coming from Britain, I would say.
And then here are our fighters.
Ooh.
Not everyone will get ranked. If you're not here, that does not mean you're not worthy of being on this list. It means I didn't remember to get your picture. But what we got here is a list of all the fighters where we're going to go through them and we are going to rank them and place them in tiers. I have Stu here and Greg here to debate this with me. And also we got the chat here watching this as we do it live. Chat, you may feel completely free to say whatever you want about where we are going to rank. So let's start here. This guy right here. This little red-haired fellow. Where would you guys say this red-haired guy goes?
I can't see your cursor.
You
Are
can't?
you tough? No.
All right. Top row from the left, down 3, go down 1.
What?
You can't see my cursor?
No.
What kind of shitty setup is this?
Most turn it off because it's usually annoying.
Cancel everyone go home.
All right. Far left. All right.
Far.
Row 1, go down to row 2. Go down, go right 3. Red-haired fellow right here.
Right, I can see what. Just move them about. I can see who you're
All right.
talking about when you
Who
move
am I
them
moving
about.
around?
Well, that's the free hit, isn't it? You put them in S, you move on. Not much to say.
Who are we putting in S? You got to say who it is.
Canelo.
Absolutely. I think this is the only guy whose spot on this list is absolutely guaranteed. Chat, who do you guys want to see us rank next? Chris Eubank Jr., Stu, Greg. What tier is Chris Eubank Jr.?
I'd say C.
I was gonna go with D.
I was kind of like between C and D, but I'd lean C.
Let's put him C for now. But
How is he
let's
not a
revisit
jobber?
that.
I think. Well, I mean, the two people he's lost to are good guys. I don't think he's a jobber. Maybe C was generous, but I don't think.
He's so close to being a C, but I feel like he's not. He's just
I'd be all right with him going in D. I think he's ultimately never really had a great win.
I mean, who's the best win of his career? Avni Yildirim?
De Gale, probably, but like it was
Gale?
an
Shot De
fucking
Gale?
past it. De Gale got caught above, but he just broke his shoulder second round.
I forgot about the Korb knockout.
Heck of a knockout.
Yeah, he fucked them up.
But I'm all right with him going in D. C or D, you know, I'd kind of put him between the two, but
All right, we're gonna leave Chris Eubank Jr. as a D fighter right now, and let's randomly select the next guy, Gary Russell Jr.
I'd say B would be my first thought for Gary Russell Jr. I think he's a champ. I think he's a very solid champ, but I don't think he's done enough to be like. And you say C.
I say C.
Come on.
What has Gary Russell Jr. done?
I'm right. I think the problem here is I think we are on the wrong pages in terms of like tier list, because I think if you've got him and if you've got Gary Russell Jr. and C, like how many people are you going to end up with like in B or A?
How about this? We have an S, we have a D, and I think we all agree that Chris Eubank Jr. is a D. Let's find an A. So on the count of 3, you guys say who you think goes in the A class. 1, 2, 3.
Tommy Fury.
Who? I think. Wait, who did you say, Greg?
No comment.
Bitch, you're on the podcast. You have to have a comment.
I'd say like
I think
like
Spence is an
Usyk
A.
maybe A.
I think Usyk is also an A.
Usyk Spence A.
Close to S, but
I can't
I
find
think-
Usyk here.
He's
Oh, he's right here.
right.
solid A. I think S is like special. A is like, strong pound for poundish talent. B is like a strong world level fighter.
I think C is like an average like world champion.
I think Russell's slightly better than average world champion though.
Dude,
He
Russell's
just
had a
doesn't
really
fight.
good Run. Has Russell lost a round?
All right,
and,
but I
like,
think we have to dock him for not fighting. So I think he stays in C.
Yeah.
And those that one dude always mentioning the Loma loss on every wrestle.
I think working one day a year gets you B tier, in my opinion.
That's not how this works.
That should work in my eyes.
Okay, well, I mean, at that, well, I don't want to give away other picks here, but there's a guy who used to box 4 times a year that got on pound for pound list against absolute nobodies. What about this guy right here, Regis Prograis?
Jobber.
No, probably D tier.
I'd D tier. I think if we're putting Russell C, I think he's a tier below Russell.
Yep, I agree with that.
All right.
I think flipping the go-kart gets him out of E tier.
What about wrestling the alligator, though?
Oh, that was pretty good too. I love New Orleans, so Regis has a soft spot for me.
All right, so hear me out here. Oscar Valdez, B tier. He's got
I
3 wins this year that are fantastic. He got the knockout win over Miguel Burchelt, got the decision win over Robson Conceição, and got the knockout win over the Arizona State Athletic Commission.
I think if we've got Gary Russell and C, we've got to match it with Valdez.
This is
Like I'm not putting him beef entirely for the Burchelt fight. Like that's the only thing he's ever done that has impressed me.
Russell's literally dominated decent opponents. Valdez has only done that with fucking Burchelt. Everything else in his career says it's an outlier, and Burchelt was probably
what I'm hearing is that Gary probably goes up and Valdez goes down into C.
Yeah.
How did we end up with you went Valdez and B and Russell and C, and somehow we finished with Russell and B and Valdez and C?
Listen, brother, we're having a conversation here, and these things happen where we adjust. Let's move on to.
Wait, I don't like Regis being the same level as Eubank. Let's move Eubank one down.
I think that's fair.
I agree.
What about this guy right here, Anthony Joshua? Jobber? Probably not. Is he a C at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to say he's been like Russell level.
Can someone
Like, he's a good
pour a little out in the chat for us?
Sorry, what?
I said pour some out in the chat for Anthony Joshua because he has fallen quite a bit.
Yeah. He definitely went. He went from like A, like B, maybe A to easily. Yeah, C. C is a good spot for him. Like at this point,
Union Joe.
Jobber.
No way is Union Joe a
Yeah,
jobber.
I think if you bags an E, I think Union Joe can't be a jobber.
I think Joe is a D.
Is he on a ventilator right now? That's the question. I don't even know if he's fucking alive. Like, what's the deal with this guy?
So you're saying that Top Rank is just announcing a fight with him and Liam, whatever.
Callum Johnson.
What I knew it was one of them. They're just going to announce this fight and it's not actually real.
I don't know, man. Listen, if Trevor Bryan didn't exist, he would be the weakest champion above like middleweight.
Well, okay, yeah, because Jamel Herring had that classification.
Dude, what Arson exists at cruiserweight.
This guy with his hipster shit's gonna be like, well, what about Artem Dalakian?
Dude, Dalakian's too small. He said above middleweight.
I respect all the cruiserweights more than fucking Union Joe.
All right, Jamal Charlo.
Jamal, he's between. I think pretty close to Russell, honestly.
I'd put him my almost like B plus, you know, like he's not quite on the level of the guys in that we've got an A, but he's above like Russell. So
I put him at the top of the B tier.
I'm alright, top of B or bottom of A, you know, like that kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna order them too. You get rated in your division. I think Union Joe is a little above Chris Eubank Jr.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Could really lose to like 20 of the light heavyweights right now. It's hard to like rate someone unless if you have some confidence they won't lose to literally fucking anyone.
He's so insanely vulnerable. Like he's the most vulnerable champion like right now. Like in my opinion,
like brain damage. Who's that guy Stevenson knocked down? Fanfara. He fought like Fanfara with visible brain damage and somehow built a career out of it.
Much?
Devin Haney.
It's always tough because it's like, we're ranking him where he is right now, right this second, like not considering his potential.
In the moment.
With like his current resume, I'd say C. I think
so. I agree.
You look at Haney's resume, and I think it's worse than Russell's, despite Russell fighting 3 times since 2016.
So the way I view these rankings, just to clarify, C is kind of like the lower level of world level fighters, whereas B are kind of the solid guys at the top of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Haney to me is at least a world level fighter, and hopefully ends up being better.
Now you're in a way.
Oh boy! Oh, this is gonna be a divide. I think.
Hear me out, guys.
I mean, no.
Wait, Gray. Where are you going with our friend in a way?
I put him between A and B.
Yeah.
Can we make a new category and just make it midgets and rank them on there?
You're probably right. I'd probably put him below Usyk in A right now. But like if we're for memes, like yes, Jobber is funny. But yeah, I'd probably put him in A for right now. But I could see him moving to top of B if the more the more names we kind of float around
we just
here.
Have a midgets category.
Jobber midgets. I love it.
Wait. So is Inoue a B or is he an A? I think you have to have B because you have only one functioning eye socket.
Yeah, I'd put him similar to Jamal, like top of B.
I think he's above, but like not.
Like I think he's above Jamal, but just like not much.
Wait,
like I don't.
Is he the same category as Usyk?
Usyk is closer to Canelo than he is in a way.
Wait, is Usyk better? Do you put Usyk above Spence?
Yes.
I think it's close.
I think we don't, just because Greg is Ukrainian and he's gonna want us to, and this is just a piss off Greg moment. So, Greg, you think Inoue's A?
Probably bottom of it. Yeah, probably at the end of the A list for right now. But
Keep him there for now, and then maybe with more content. He's definitely.
Yeah, I think he's one of those ones that could move when there's more people coming in and we're thinking about more.
Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of a weird one because he just one shot so many of him, and then the one semi decent opponent he had, obviously amazing.
you
Right.
Doing handsomeness. Surely
sneaking him in.
Brandon Figueroa is an S.
I like that. No discussion at all. We're just gonna put the figs at S tier. The man whose brain is gonna be mush at like 27 years old. S tier.
Says
Angelo sent me this last night. This group of fighters, and it had Fig and Canelo at the top. So I'm like, oh, is this like? And he was like, no, it's completely random. It's like two female laughs. And I was like, no, it has to be by looks.
Is he a C or a B? He has a better win than
C.
everybody in the C category.
I put him in front of Haney right now. It's C, or just personally, I think the Neary win made me very happy, and it is a good win. But I feel like the winner of him and Fulton goes to B tier.
You were happy Neary lost?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that's like mad that he cheated in Japan like twice.
Yep. All right. Here's
Oh boy. Ooh, it's a tough one because it's like where he's at right now, right?
Yeah, it's
he technically has 2 wins over Canelo, so S tier.
Put him next to Regis and be done with it.
like so where he's at right now.
How stupid is it though if he loses in Japan and we're like, oh, Murata gets eliminated here? Like, come on.
Am I the only one who thought he looked really bad against Smez Murata?
I thought he looked
agree.
bad too.
I think he looked good at all. He looked bored.
Is he C tier?
like in terms of
he
his
had
current
COVID.
ability, I'd probably put him C, but I might push him a bit up B just in like the past work he's done, you know what I'm saying? I think he's definitely kind of BC level.
Agreed.
He should be on lists. Like he's basically an inactive fighter.
I wouldn't put him above Brandon Figueroa.
Not right now. No.
Just because Brandon's more handsome. All right, here we go. Boots. Hear me out here.
I'm
A.
Fully agree.
There's nobody on this list that if they could make 147, you're going to say that you feel comfortable betting against Boots.
But I think the thing is we ranked Haney based entirely on like where he is right now, and it's like ultimately Boots' best win is against Lipinets.
Right.
So
like
beat the
I
fuck
feel like I
out of
don't think you can put him
he beat the
above.
fuck out of him. What did Haney do to Linares?
I don't think
No,
that's-
but like you're putting him above Jamal. Like
Jamal,
Haney's
Boots didn't go rounds with Montiel.
what?
Maul
I
went
think
hard
you
rounds
can't.
with Montiel.
He's still like me. I like this argument. He did go rounds with Montiel. I think we all know Boots is A right now.
Yeah, but like I think ultimately, like I can't put him there when we're not ranking him based on potential. I think you've got to put him lower.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, fuck that. He stays in A.
Like he's been showing kind of mixed stuff. Like sometimes he looks B, sometimes even A, sometimes C. It's different. It's not just the only reason why, the reason why Haney's in C tier right now isn't solely because he hasn't accomplished anything. With Boots, everything we've seen has looked really fucking good.
Yeah, but
decent dudes like that.
it's like ultimately against non-trash opponents. It's
Dudes would be like-
6 rounds.
They'd be Terrence Crawford's top 5 best wins. They'd be Inouye's top 5 best wins. They'd be Usyk's top 5 best wins. Like I really don't see it.
I think we keep him A for now. Maybe we'll come back later. Our next guy, Dimitri Bivol.
Oh boy. I mean, I would put my baby boy at A, but I know it's not how everyone else
I
feels.
think
Get the fuck out of
it's
here.
gotta
He's not
be,
an A.
it's gotta be D.
He's
I
gotta
agree
be
with
D.
Gray. He should be A tier.
Okay, first of all, Gray and Greg, you guys are simps
Not good.
for Bivol, so we have to take that into consideration.
Huge Sims.
Can you remember any like 5-second sequence from a Bivol fight? No, you can't.
No.
I thought
The
so.
bell
Not at
is
all.
something that doesn't count in an actual fight because I'm
No
pretty
one-
sure.
No one has ever made a GIF from a Bivol fight.
I just know that. Well, I just love those 120-108 scorecards at the end, baby, and that's what he does. Okay, shuts
I
you out.
think he's slightly behind Golovkin.
Dude,
Yeah, that's no.
I'm
John, that
struggling
version
here.
of John
Proving these guys wrong.
Pascal beat Canelo.
I think he's in D. I think like that fucking Craig Richards fight, brother.
All right.
Like that, like, and it's not.
It was a stinker. It was. There's no excuse for that fight to have been that close. Also,
All right,
And it's not like he's got
We have to split the
wins to
difference.
back it up. His best win is the John Pascal, which only looks better in hindsight.
Union Joe. You got Union Joe.
Yeah, we were in.
I mean, you've just shot Union
After I
Joe.
just shot on Union Joe.
Okay, but Barrera was actually decent back then. Chilemba was beating the shit out of Goizik before that sketchy ass stoppage. So let's not.
Wait a second. Did you
rewrite
just say
history.
that he was beating the shit out of somebody who wasn't good?
Yeah, like.
Oh,
Like,
Well, we're not rating Goizik here just because.
But I don't think like I don't think D is bad fighters. You know, I don't think Program
yeah, I
is
know.
bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
Like I'm not saying he should be in jobbers. I'm just saying like, do I put him above Oscar Valdez?
yes.
that's a good point. That's a good point. I would put Valdez above B-Ball. Yeah, and Joshua too.
Okay, I unironically think Bevel is a top 20 fighter in the sport. He's dominated.
I
enough
unironically
decent
think you're
opponents.
wrong.
Valdez has struggled to much worse fighters than the guys Bevel has 12-0'd.
Yeah, but Valdez is struggling against guys that are better than the guys that Bivol's fighting. Like, what are we talking about here?
Figueroa literally drew like 5 minutes ago the complete mediocre fighter, and he ices it just tiny for him, and then now he's above Bivol. Yeah.
So, are you asking us to like do you a solid here and put Bivol higher?
No, I'm just saying I would at least put him B. I think B is a much. I think he's one of the better champions in the sport. I don't think he's like pound for pound guy, but I genuinely think he's one of the better ones.
Greg, the chat is not
Bevel and
happy with you.
B.
We can't put Bivol in B. Okay,
No,
he just doesn't
that
fit.
ruins the integrity of the list.
Okay, all these picks are up for debate, but like if we put Bivol in B, like we lose it. Okay.
I'll accept him in C. I want him in D, but I'll accept him in
Look,
C.
the C crew
I'll accept him, yeah.
is like.
I accept him in C.
Wolfkin, like
All right, next.
Oh boy.
Demetrius Andrade. Great. In New Hampshire right now to see him fight tomorrow night. We'll let you
Oh
have
my
the first
God.
crack. Where do you think he goes?
Oh, yeah, no, knock that off. First of all, it was very funny to see no one cheering for him at the weigh-in today. Not a single soul.
That doesn't sound funny.
Oh, it was extremely funny to me. Yeah, I'd put him below. I'd say, yeah, I'd put him above Regis.
I'd put him slightly below Regis. I can see him above.
All right,
You know,
hear me out.
I'd put him above Regis, but I think
I think
D-
he's a similar
D.
level. Yeah, I think.
Having a close fight to Josh Taylor.
I mean, just his shitty performance. He's just had so many disappointing performances that I can't have him in the same world as B-Vol, who also has disappointing performances. Like I feel like Boo Boos are worse than B-Vols in
All
terms of like the letdown.
Hear me
I
out.
think Boo Boo just also has worse wins.
Yeah, that's true.
my highs just aren't. His highs aren't as high. It's the
Losing
same with
No.
Regis. They're both okay when the fight's going their way, but if the fight goes in a way they don't want it, they just look awful.
Regis Prograis going into or having a close decision loss to Josh Taylor is better than anything Andrade's done. in
Yeah,
his
that's
career.
what I was saying when I said.
I agree. I agree. I mean, really, what's the best win of his last five? Liam Williams.
I
Canelo also called him a
I
horrible
wouldn't-
fighter.
wouldn't put him E. I would
He's
put him
better
like
than-
lower
I
D
think-
than Regis, but
I
like
agree. D
like
is
I-
D.
I
he
think
doesn't.
we're
he's
being a little
yeah.
too generous with the C category, and D and E are lonely.
I think there's look at the list. There's plenty of guys who are ending up at the lower end than their brother.
We'll have to. I mean, look, we gotta bring.
Hey, we can
integrity
move
here.
about. We can move people about. I think Beevil should be a D. You know?
Like you could make a genuine argument though with Boo Boo that his best win came in 2013 against Matarosian. Like for real.
Somebody
like,
at Jamal, Gabe Rosado, literally everyone from 154 to 168 have a win over Martirosyan, and that's somehow Boo Boo's best win. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right.
You don't think like what's okay? I don't know, like Sulecki, Liam Williams. What's better? What's better than that?
Is that a real question?
Yeah.
Beating Gennady Golovkin?
I'm talking about Boo Boo. What Boo Boo's best?
Oh, what has he done that's better than? Oh, well, I mean, that's like a trick question. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Beating the
it's
gun
probably
charge?
Martirosyan from 8 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was beating the gun charge, but yeah, I'll take that too. Let's move on to our next guy.
Oh man, S tier. Fighting, gotta have the two legends next to each other.
Can you tell who? So who is this, guys?
It's Makabu, isn't it?
Ilunga
yeah.
Makabu.
Makubu. I don't. Probably D or E. I don't know.
I got him as a jobber.
You put him as a jobber? Really?
He lost to Tony Bellew. You lose to Tony Bellew at cruiserweight, you're a jobber.
He was injured, brother.
What did he injure?
I don't know. I just remembered him saying he was injured after
He
a
injured
fight.
his chin? He got slept by Tony Bellew. You're a jobber.
Every fight since then has just been him outworking like former Russian kickboxers to, like,
It's great.
competitive decisions.
It's great.
He's just living the dream.
Oh, it's such a stupid division. I love it. But yeah, I DE jobber, whatever. He's
I definitely would put him D. I feel like he's significantly worse than like a Regis Andrade.
Do you know that he's Martin Bacoli's brother?
what?
Bro.
Yeah,
What?
apparently.
What?
There was one article where Bacoli came out and said he wanted to avenge his brother years ago.
Oh my God, he is. That's crazy.
Is that the one bit of information that's interesting about Makabu that isn't
that puts him into E.
No. Martin Bacoli got into a little bit of trouble at one point in time. It ain't a good thing to be his brother.
Hey, brother.
We're not going to bring it up.
We don't speak
Google
about
it.
that.
Google it. All right. Up next.
Oh, he's
Right. Yep. Right in D tier, baby.
Who is it, guys?
does this mean Salver Martin's in B?
Oh
Sandra
no.
Martin didn't make the list, but what we got right now is Mikey Garcia. Mikey has, I think, graduated to D list.
Yeah.
So a very somber tone that the pod has taken.
Hey, brother, I'm never going to slander Mikey, but I can't say he's any higher than that.
I feel like even this is too generous. If we're only going off his last fight,
Yeah. I feel,
Raleigh would have beat him that night.
yeah. He looked like a guy just not motivated to do this anymore at a full-time level.
Yeah, I think Mikey is. I don't know that he's done. Like, it's hard to count out the level of talent that guy has, but it is easy to count out what I saw. And
Yeah.
I don't know that you just instantly flip the switch and go back to being an elite world-class athlete that Mikey was prior to Sandra Martin.
Won't happen.
All right, Dillian White.
It's a great photo. Excellent. Like, that might be my favorite one. Yeah.
Is there an argument for Dillian White to be above E?
I think there is an argument. I don't know that I agree with it, but
Yeah, I know.
I think if we're looking at the other guys in E, you know, maybe slightly better than like Union Joe, but I think that he's, you know, I don't think he's better than Prograis.
I think Andrade is a significantly better fighter than him.
No. I think
too
Dillian
late.
White's better than Makabu.
Yeah, he's like, come on.
I still think Union Joe is higher than an E.
I
Like, if you look at this crew and say, like, one of them is not like the other, who is it? Is Union Joe.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. That was not the right word to say. Obviously, there's something different about him. All right. So we're putting Dillian White in E. That was painless. Let's go with Gervonta Davis.
I'd put him in A.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, hey.
I mean, Gervonta Davis is your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. I think he's clearly an A. He's shown he can do it in multiple weight classes. It sounds like he gave Sean Porter some work based off of the comments Sean had given off of the sparring session that he said about Gervonta Davis. I feel like Tank is clearly an A.
Hey, brother, we tier listing based on sparring stories.
Hey, brother, somebody took something I said out of context on Twitter today, saying that, of course, our podcast talked about a sparring session because we mentioned that Crawford allegedly got knocked out in sparring, and I brought it up on the podcast to kind of just say, like, yeah, believing in sparring sessions before fights is fucking stupid. Remember, Tyson Fury got knocked out by Jared Anderson before Wilder. Look how that turned out. But of course, doesn't fit people's narratives. But anyway, grievances aside, I think Tank is on the closer to S list and closer to B list of the A group.
I agree.
Jaime Munguia.
Oh, another one of my faves. I love him.
Hear me out, guys.
Put him.
No way.
See, above Golovkin.
I love it. I love it.
I think Jaime Munguia is getting better. Like, seriously.
Yep.
Hey, brother, he's at 40 fights. I would hope he's getting better.
Yeah,
okay.
Like it would be fucking tough to get worse.
Gilberto at 40 fights versus Chavez Jr. at 40 fights versus Munguia at 40 fights. Who's better? It's clearly Munguia. Like, I know you guys could shit on his defense, and certainly there are holes in his defense, but offensively, he's turning into a force. I think he beats Golovkin. Greg,
do you think that
now.
Boo Boo will fight him in all seriousness?
I think so.
Yeah. I think he kind of has to.
What are they going to do with these guys?
I don't know. They're both kind of in a situation where it's like, I think he's going to be I think, like, is he mandatory already, or is he going to be? It doesn't matter. But, like, I don't feel like there's no other path for either guy right now. So, and I think he beats Boo Boo if they do fight. So, I'm happy with C tier.
If he beats Derevi, I think he gets a title shot at Charlo's title, but Charlo will be at 168 by the time that's due. So,
Derevyanchenko is going to fight Adames. Gregory.
Huh? What was that?
Derevyanchenko is going to fight Adames on the Tank undercard.
Oh, did that get confirmed already?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's enough.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, seems more and more likely. I mean, it's a good style matchup for Munguia, definitely, like, for very obvious reasons.
What about Jake Paul?
Oh.
S tier.
In terms of drawing, like, Jake Paul is S tier.
Every fighter gets a different criteria.
He gives us he's giving us Frank Gore the heavyweight. That's pretty cool.
Greg, stop shitting on our loose interpretation of what these letters mean, okay? All right. Is Jake Paul, does he get to be an E? At least E?
No. If we're marking him seriously, he's obviously a jobber. But...
Does he get... But okay, let's give him points for his ability to draw. Does that still get him above jobber?
No, because he's so bad.
Stu, would you bet your life that Makabu beats Jake?
Yes.
At 190, we're not even sure Makabu can make the weight.
Yeah.
Wait, how many rounds?
I two.
I'm not betting my life. I'm not betting my life. If Canelo's fighting Makabu, I'm betting my life. I'm not betting my life on Jake Paul. Let's move on to... Does anybody know who this guy is?
No idea who that is.
You've picked a rough picture.
I don't know who the fuck is that.
Wait, I'm waiting for somebody to guess correctly on who this guy is.
It's Josh Taylor.
Is that Josh Taylor?
That's
oh
Josh
my
Taylor.
God. Wow.
I think it is at least.
That's Josh Taylor for sure.
Yeah.
He looks like he badly needs a booster in that photo. Holy
COVID
shit.
booster? You know he's anti-vax, right? He ain't getting no.
That's my joke. Yeah, he just looks like he needs something. I know you hate him, Angelo, so I'm not surprised that you threw him D tier.
Oh no, I just kind of stopped dragging him around.
Okay.
I'll put Josh Taylor in B.
Yeah, I put him behind. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think he's kind of the bottom end of the current B.
So I would tell you. Let me give you my reason why he's bottom, almost C. Oh wait, never mind. This story is for. Okay, actually no. His best win. Regis Prograis, I think, or we would all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a better win than Terrence Crawford? Because Mr. Gary has a win over Terrence Crawford. They had a street fight, and apparently Mr. Gary carved up Terrence Crawford.
Hey, if
we're keeping street fights.
If we're keeping street fights, Shakur's an S, brother.
Yeah.
No, he slipped and fell. We got to dock him points for slipping and falling. Mr. Gary did not go down.
Hey,
in that fight.
I did see the ref call a knockdown.
Want to know in the parking garage? That's all I'm saying.
Let's move on to our next guy. So we're cool with Josh Taylor at a B. Tyson Fury. B.
I put him B tier.
Yeah.
Nah, you guys are crazy. Tyson Fury's an A.
Yeah, I think he's got BA. As much as I hate to do it.
Yeah. I think we got to give credit where credit's due. I know we all don't like Tyson Fury, but at the same time, we got to give credit where it's due. And let me just ask you this question: like right now, who's a bigger draw, him or Usyk?
Right, we're not. We've already. We're not doing the drawing tier list.
No. We are doing that too. It's all inclusive, baby. And then the other part is who wins? Who's the favorite personally for you if he were to fight Usyk? And I'm asking everybody except Greg here because Greg is Ukrainian and biased.
I'd favor Fury. Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuart?
I think I'd favor Fury as well.
And
Slightly.
Greg, do you want to just get it in?
I'd favor Fury too.
All right, Usyk, we're going to talk
Very
about
defeated.
But we all
I
love
did not
Usyk more
say
than Fury.
Fury above Usyk.
All right, next up,
Okay.
we'll stick. We'll go to Russia. Artur Beterbiev.
Oh baby. You were shitting on the nail earlier, so I'd say probably C. Yeah.
Yeah, I think C.
All right.
actually put him
I feel
top of
bad
B.
having guys in the same division in the same tier. I feel like we shouldn't do that if we can avoid it. So I say we put him in a C and drop Bivol down to D.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Because I think Beterbiev is better than Bevel.
I agree.
I actually don't know if I agree with that. I don't know who's better. I don't think you can say on paper.
I think in
sticks
terms
out.
of what they have achieved, Beterbiev is better. I should add a caveat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. That's
We're doing
I
that,
agree.
RJ.
Because I think Bevel's more talented, but
Usyk is better than any of Bivol's wins, but like, what's better? BF second best. I think they're.
I mean, Callum Johnson, brother. That's
can't believe
I think
Callum
their
Johnson's
records are
getting
basically
those title
identical,
shots.
but Beterbiev wouldn't shock me if he loses to Marcus Brown. The next fight wouldn't shock me. The fight after that, to me, he's just a better Joe Smith. That's why I'd put him D tier and keep Bivol higher.
you D'Angelo slightly moved Bevel down to E.
All right,
A
fine.
better.
Beterbiev. Okay, I think Bivol's better than Mikey. I think he's also better than Anthony Joshua. So I think Joshua goes down to D.
No, we're not. So you moved Bevel because you wanted to keep people in the same weight class out, the same tier, and now you've moved someone in a different weight class down.
Like screw Anthony Joshua.
Wait,
Get him out of here.
I think it's tough to move Anthony Joshua down that much right now.
Wait, so we don't want to do that to Joshua? We don't hurt his feelings?
Yeah, man.
Golovkin who moves. We literally don't know shit about him. He barely boxes.
Why don't just move everybody down to D?
Just put Jake Paul above Mikey. He wouldn't have lost Sandor Martin.
Low key, if Jake Paul would have showed up instead of Mikey Garcia, he would have been able to cut off the ring on Sandor. All right, Danny Garcia.
Where he's at right now
No, in the con fight.
in the con.
We're going to change how we do this for one guy.
We're not
So
doing
okay, is Danny Garcia moving up in weight? I'm just curious. Like, what's this deal?
That's, I don't know. Let's assume he is.
Okay, because that's kind of where I've heard that he might be moving up, but I don't know.
that. I think Danny's at D tier right now.
D is fine.
Maybe. I don't want to drop him down to E because he's obviously very talented.
But what if he's a D tier, but his first fight at 154 is against Lubin? Does he
Will
become a
not be
C?
against Lubin. No way. Not fucking happening.
Because Danny could catch Lubin very easily.
I've heard who his first fight at 154 will be, and it will not be anywhere. Lubin, I'm not saying Lubin's amazing, but it won't be like a top 10.
Give us a hint. Does his
Greg
name sound
Vendetti.
like Terrell Gaucher?
I think it's going to be like a Greg Vendetti type.
Ooh, Greg Vendetti of Upper Northeast fame?
Yes. I think
The
it's somebody
villain.
like him.
I mean, that's understandable. Danny's...
He needs
He's like a big welterweight, but not like crazy big. All right.
And Vendetti's very small for that division, so it would make sense.
All right, let's go with King Kong Luis Ortiz.
think you got to put him in E or D or E.
Um,
I'd put him right below Andrade on.
right below in the jobber category.
No, like in the E category, but below
Wait.
Andrade.
Wait, where do we
He's
get off
definitely better
putting?
than Joe Smith, Eubank, and White. That's like
Wait,
not even.
Luis Ortiz is a full tier below Mikey Garcia, and in the same tier as Dillian White. I don't think so.
I wouldn't even have
He's
Ortiz.
fighting like a stoned heavyweight next month, like a man who or fucking January.
You mean
Like
a-
he's
a
fighting
god
the
walking
worst
amongst men.
the worst heavyweight champion of our generation.
Hey,
Whoa,
brother.
whoa! I don't know about that.
Yeah, let's
David
not
Haye held
slander
the title.
Charles Martin here.
Yeah, I'm slandering him. That's it. That's right.
Well, you think Glaskov was better?
If that ACL hadn't torn, I'm just saying we don't know. I'd rather take the guy whose ACL tore and then
Bermane
kind of.
Stiverne actually was a pretty decent heavyweight. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad. I mean, we all make fun. I mean, it's kind of like, main events is kind of LOL funny, but like I thought he had more skill than fucking Charles Martin. Sorry, I just do.
I mean, also if he doesn't get fat and Deontay Wilder doesn't Deontay Wilder him, like we may remember Stiverne
I know.
a lot differently.
Hey, I don't get me started. I like Stiverne.
The only heavyweight to get dehydrated. Yeah, big fan.
Don't make me give you a lecture in prime Stiverne.
All right. I think we just need to create distance between Ortiz and White because I think White's not as good as Ortiz. So we're gonna have to add on some more to the E category.
Yep.
Let's go with this guy right here. Gonna be fighting next weekend, Stephen Fulton.
So I like Fulton, but his resume is pretty light, in my opinion. And I think I put him below. I put him below Brandon, like maybe in the same tier.
I'd put him next to Brandon. I think they're close.
I
Like,
put him one spot above Brandon, but really it doesn't matter because obviously Fig has the better resume, but Fulton looks slightly better. So right.
Yeah, I mean, as a talent, I think Fulton's got a much more well-rounded game, and he will win that fight.
Nah, Brandon Figueroa is gonna push his shit in.
I don't see that.
I don't care what you
that
see,
at all.
Greg. The people expecting a very serious podcast from us, like we typically do. I hope you guys realize we're just trying to
I
have
do
fun
also
here.
like your words never match your actions with the tier
Yeah, I know
list.
that's so.
You're talking about how Fulton would get beat up as you're moving him up.
I still don't get why Mikey's above Regis.
This fucking photo of Josh Taylor, I can't deal. God,
Bro,
So why is Taylor two tiers
Mikey
above
would not have
Regis?
needed to low blow Ivan Redkach to beat him. So it makes a ton of sense here, okay? Stephen
Taylor
Fulton.
would lose 5 rounds to Yvonne Redkach.
All right. Okay. We have a little bit of an issue here because we're going to put Fulton and Figueroa in the same category. We've got Munguia and Golovkin in the same category. We've got Beterbiev and Bivol in the same category. We got to separate this out. We got to make a decision here based off of who we think is better. So you're there. Somebody's got to go up. Somebody's got to go down.
I think we move Bivol down.
All right. Bivol goes down.
But there's nobody I want to move
Munguia,
up.
Golovkin. Somebody's going up or somebody's going down. Who's going down?
Golovkin down.
All right, but I'm putting him way above
Yeah.
Danny Garcia.
yeah, that's fine.
And then Fulton and Figueroa.
Fig down.
I think we should have more people in B as well. I think.
I think we put Stephen Fulton in B.
That's fine.
Yeah. I think we
fine.
move. I think we move Boots to B as well.
What do you guys think? Chat. No. S tier is like literally one guy. Like if we were doing this 5 years ago, S tier is Floyd and Floyd alone. Like S tier could only be one guy. There's only one guy in boxing. Do you guys think Fulton's above Figueroa? But the question is like if we're evaluating their tiers, okay, let's just look at it like who the winner of Fulton versus Figueroa. What tier do they go in? Does that
They'll probably
establish
go higher
them
in
as a
B.
B?
The winner will be high in B. The lower.
Yeah, I think that one win doesn't necessarily move you up a tier like that.
But these two are like super evenly matched top of their division.
I mean, we haven't seen.
Yeah, but at the same time, like
Close.
Okay, then does somebody get moved down for that?
Huh? I
If-
think keep Fulton low, B, and Fig high C is fine.
All right, we'll put Fulton in B. Figueroa goes back to C. Where did Golovkin go? Oh, he's right here.
Moved him to D.
All right,
Just delete it.
we'll come back to this. Next up, your Dennis Ugas. I think he's a B.
I'd put him a lot lower.
I'd put him C.
He beat Sean Porter. He beat Manny Pacquiao.
Hey, brother. I think he's high C. I think, he's got one very good win, but it's
Porter.
not enough for like B, I think.
I guess.
But yeah, I think he might be better than Fulton though.
Well, the question is like, is he like elite champion at his division? No. Is he solid? Like you could see him unifying titles? I don't think so. Can you see him defending his title against the contenders? I think the answer is yes. So C's probably fits him, I think.
I would put him a spot behind Haney, honestly. I just feel like it's only downhill from here. And
No, kiss
whereas
my
with
ass,
Haney,
Greg.
Hey, brother, but we're at the top of the hill, so we're ranking him from here.
Wait. But Munguia above Haney and Ugas.
I don't,
I'd put Haney first, then Munguia, then Ugas.
I'd put Ugas over Munguia.
Hey man, how's it going?
Gray over here
good,
having a
good.
conversation.
Thanks for calling me big.
Gray, you know you're having a conversation.
Hmm?
All right, next up, Teofimo Lopez. I think he's a B.
I think B. I think B's fair.
I
I
think
think that's good
he
placement.
might be
Yeah, I think.
an A.
I
he's
think
got
if
one
Boots
good
is there,
win.
maybe, but I don't think Boots should be there. So
Staying.
Let's go with I think we all agree Teofimo's firmly a B, but on his way to becoming an A. But you ain't there yet. Let's go with Brian Castano.
I can see B, but I'm leaning top of C. I think
He might be
similar
a
level
B.
to like Figueroa.
He almost took the win from Jermell Charlo.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, where would Pacquiao been rated before the Ugas fight? And I'd say a similar
A or
place
B?
to Jamel Charlo, and Ugas is rated C for that one there.
All right, let's put Jermell on the list. A. He's a
I would
unified
not
champion
put
that
him
actually
higher.
went out and unified the titles, like went and grabbed them, and didn't like get them the way Teofimo did, where he like beat one guy and got a bunch of titles from beating him.
I would put his big brother higher, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was
The
saying. Is
fuck?
like,
I rate Julian Williams, Korobov, Derevchenko, Austin
with something in common
and
there.
Jamal fought him better than anyone Jamal's beaten. All four of
Rosario.
those. Really, like,
I think
Rosario,
Rosario was good. Maybe
Lubin?
good is maybe not good is an overstatement, but I think I rank Jamal over Jermel.
Do we just put them next to each other and just say we can't tell the difference? It's like it's one of them there, the other one can go somewhere else, but we'll just put them there to make it easy. So does that move Castano down to a C if Jermel is in the B?
Yeah, I think like it's what I said about Ugas. I think you're rating Pacquiao in a very similar place to where you're rating Jermel Charlo right now. And Ugas is ultimately getting ranked off that one fight against Pacquiao. So Castano should be ranked in a similar place for that one fight against Jermel, I think. And Ugas has better wins.
Huey Fury.
one spot above White, please.
I think Huey's a jobber.
Yeah, I think ultimately if Dillian White is the end of E, I think he's got to be Jobber.
Okay, Huey would genuinely beat Makabu if the fight happened. I don't know, some fucking catchway. I don't know.
You think Huey would beat Makabu?
I am dead sure of it. Huey genuinely won 4 to 5 rounds against Joe Park. Makabu got fucking flattened by Bellew. I genuinely.
Hey.
Terrence Crawford.
A tier.
I think A.
I can make an argument for C.
Yeah, but you can't win Boots as an A. I don't think.
You can't make it when Inoue is also A. Inoue has a worse resume than.
Wow. where do we place him in the tier of A?
I say just below Spence, I would say.
I think he's below Fury.
Yeah, I can see it. I think it's tight.
But yeah, I think Crawford is 100% an A fighter. What about this guy right here? Does anyone know who this guy is?
That's
Chris.
there, right?
Chris Colbert. You guys, that was very good, guys. Wasn't sure you guys would recognize him.
Yeah, I recognize that picture of Josh Taylor.
That's true.
C tier. I feel like he has similar record to Haney, but his highs haven't been as good, so his upside doesn't look as good to me, at least. But
I
similar
think
record.
Colbert C tier. I think that's fair. I think
I
as a
think it's fair.
he's only all right looking. Some people are really high on him. I think he's got the most skills out of the dudes at 130/35. I don't really see it. I need him to prove it to me. And thus far from what I've seen from him is like he looks good, but like I haven't seen that sort of explosive statement performance where everyone is put on notice. Haven't seen that from him thus far.
Yeah, like the Tug fight and the Corrales fight, it's like they're solid wins, but they weren't great performances.
He looked pretty bad against the ropes against King Tug, and then the Corrales fight was just kind of him edging every single round, but like the rounds really felt like wipeouts. So C is fair.
What about David Benavidez?
I put him in C for cocaine.
Like, is he? I think he's a B tier.
I think he's C.
I'd put him. I feel like his talent definitely looks like B, if not even higher. His wins are all just
Like you put him B for beating Anthony Durrell? Like, no.
Vril. I don't know. Yeah, his wins are too suspect. Like the talent. Also, not to mention, it's just kind of some sloppy performances that make you going to disappoint.
Greg, you need to turn off push to talk.
Wait, turn off or on?
Yeah, because it keeps cutting you off. We're trying to hear what you got to say.
Wait, it's not on. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
All right, never mind. Sorry. All right, what about this fellow right here, Ryan Garcia?
The number of people you've just moved up to S for a joke. Stop it.
All right, if this was a list of most handsome, come on, this is the accurate tier.
Hey, brother, Tyson Fury's not an A tier of his.
Yeah, neither is Usyk. All right, I actually don't. Was Brandon Figueroa here, guys?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. Ryan Garcia. Is he D? Is he?
It's tough.
Is he better than Regis Prograis?
I think his resume is, but it's like...
Oh, that
like,
Luke Campbell win, huh? But
I mean, beating Luke Campbell's better than losing to Josh Taylor, I think.
but
without
beating
the
Luke Campbell
context
is a
of
move to like Creel Relic.
Karel Relic, he's barely ever never lost.
I think Ryan's either a D or an E.
I'd put him D. I think he's definitely D everywhere. I don't think he's E.
He's too talented to be E.
Real talk,
Yeah,
if you fought Mikey at 140, would you take Mikey?
Right now, no. I strike like literally. You could name anybody in the top 15, and I would struggle to be sure about Mikey just because he doesn't care at all.
And you wouldn't even know.
What about this little guy right here, Juan Francisco Estrada?
After the Quadras rematch on the low, I think he should be on the lower side.
But the Quadras rematch and the Gonzalez rematch, he didn't look very good in either.
I think we put him as an E. Now, he may be still a little bit of a decent fighter, but you have to remember he robbed Roman Gonzalez, and we should punish him for that.
What?
Excuse me?
Hey, brother.
That was a robbery, but that's just my opinion.
I think we'll be a little generous and put him above Union Joe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
This is punishment for stealing a win, I would say. Let's see, who else do we have here? Let's do Keith Thurman.
You know, I can't slander my boy like that, but
Keith has not fought in 2.5 years, basically.
yeah, like really, it's unfair to even have Keith Thurman in.
I'm going to put him as a jobber.
Come on.
Just put him one spot above White. I think that's fair.
Right. But he, in my heart, he's probably a jobber.
In Stu's heart, he's still S tier.
Tommy Fury.
One spot above Tyson.
Tommy Fury, A tier. A for being on British Love Boat or whatever it was called.
British Love Boat.
What was he on? I don't know.
Love Island.
I had one of the words right there.
I mean, it kind of goes without saying in a dating show that love would be in there.
Yeah, true.
Right. Because, seriously, put him with his cousin.
Do we think Tommy Fury beats Makabu?
No, he's terrible. Like
Bet your life that he loses to him.
Yes.
You're
I bet my life twice.
Back
which
to the
is
life
too
bet.
many
You just
times.
want to die.
Back to our lives. All right. What about Shakur Stevenson? A tier.
Agreed.
Stu?
I think you've got to.
I think-
If Boots is in there, I think you've got to as well.
Well, Boots is here because he's sending people out of the ring in body bags. Shakur is not doing that. But Shakur looks, at this point, basically unbeatable.
Yeah, I think that the wins aren't there, but he looks like, he would get the wins.
Like, if they made Shakur versus Josh Taylor, would you favor Shakur?
I mean, if they didn't give Shakur any time to move up, I would favor Josh Taylor, but, that would never happen. In a realistic sort of scenario, I would favor Shakur.
I mean, the younger guys, Shakur, Tank, and Boots, just look the three most special talents right now. They all just deserve to be, I think, A.
Caleb Plant. S tier?
I think Faultless C, maybe top of day.
What?
I thought, seriously, what has he done?
What has Devin Haney seriously done?
Right, we'll say C. You've got me with the Devin Haney.
I think we may be able to put him in B.
No way. Putting him above Castagno was absurd.
Oh, so Castagno should be a B then.
No, but that means Caleb Plant should be in C.
I'll take that trade. What's the argument for D? Is he worse than Anthony Joshua at this point?
I think looking at the rest of the people in C, I think D is tough to argue. I'll accept C.
Is he better than Jaime Munguia?
I say yes, but I don't like Jaime Munguia.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, you two as in you agreed, Greg, or you also do not like Jaime Munguia?
I mean, I don't like his game. I feel like he's getting too much credit when he's still getting...
Kiss my ass. I'm going to move Munguia above Caleb.
Munguia above Ugas at that rate.
Devin Haney ain't done shit either, so we might
He
as
just
well.
goes up on every ranking.
All right, up next, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He
One
did go
spot
the
below
distance with
Thurman, I think
Canelo.
is fine.
He did go the distance with Canelo, and that was probably the last time he ever focused for a fight. He also was giving Danny Jacobs the business.
Winning that fight.
He was giving him the beans.
He was 100% up on the scorecards if the scorecards didn't destroy 5 seconds after that fight.
Is he above Dillian White?
No.
Do we really have to put him in jobber territory?
Unless you would add a new category of
I can't add any more categories.
doesn't want
but-
to fight. You can.
Where do I add a new category? We should have done this a long time ago.
The cog. Click on the cog.
Okay. Well, at the end, maybe we'll have to add a row. Does Jake Paul? Let's say, no. Would Jake Paul beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
I think so, actually. I mean, he beat Anderson Silva, right?
Oh yeah, the great Anderson Silva, former professional fighter, boxer with tons of skill and talent.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible that Cesar Chavez gets paid for the Jake Paul fight. And
Cesar Chavez,
shows
the
up.
farmer, or Julio Cesar Chavez, the fighter, son of the great Julio Cesar Chavez, Senior. What about this little guy right here, Roman Gonzalez? D.
It's tough because, obviously, the Strata fight,
Greg?
I'd put him one
And-
below. Estrada's had a better few years, though. Even if you had him winning, that's fine. But Estrada also beat Runga, so I feel put him one spot below Estrada.
Yeah, I'd put, I think, next to Estrada somewhere.
In the E category?
Yeah.
Hold on. No, we'll make the category at the end.
I don't like Thurman being 2 spots from Jake Paul. It's really bothering.
Virgil
Can we
Ortiz.
put him up with Eubank?
Where do you guys think Virgil Ortiz goes?
Near the bottom of C, maybe. Like Nate, I think I would put him similar to Chris Colbert, where he's got some solid wins and he's looked decent, but nothing that jumps out of me.
Okay,
He also
why is
got
Munguia
rocked in his last fight
rated
pretty
above
bad.
him?
Angelo just keeps moving him up. I don't.
Who did I move
I
on?
don't see what Munguia's done
Munguia.
better than Virgil, resume-wise or anything.
Yeah,
performance.
like
What?
Like, what's Munguia done? He's been in more dangerous, competitive fights despite fighting probably the same way.
I mean, that is a good point.
So Virgil above Munguia. Oh, no.
For those listening and not watching the video, I moved Munguia below Virgil instead of moving Virgil up.
I was trying to simp for Virgil. I didn't want to tend like this.
Well, I mean, you convinced me. You convinced me that Munguia should be below Devin Haney, Yordenis Ugas, Caleb Plant, Artur Beterbiev, Oscar Valdez, and Virgil Ortiz. You weren't
Should
about to
Virgil
convince me that
be
Virgil
above
Ortiz should be
those?
above those guys.
Virgil Ugas, who do you guys pick in that fight?
Ugas.
yeah, right now Ugas.
I think Ugas will figure out how to like win a decision in that fight. I think, and I said this from the start with Virgil, they need to take their time with him. There's no rush. Do what Golden Boy is doing to Munguia, because if Virgil turns out the way they think he can, he will be one of the biggest draws in boxing and like legitimately very good. There's no need to rush him, but it looks like they may want to rush him. Deontay Wilder,
I think C.
I think A.
I think him and AJ shouldn't be that far apart on.
Like I'm gonna bring this back, but like, what's he done to be ranked above Castagna?
Why do
Like-
we keep picking on Castano?
No, I'm saying positive about Castagna. Why have you moved it?
No, because that pretty good. I think.
Yeah. Like,
think-
what, my point is like
Like,
Outside of Tyson
maybe I'm
Fury-
just recency biasing it. But
outside of Tyson Fury. Is there anyone that we've ranked so far that Deontay Wilder wouldn't knock out? changing the parameters of the list again.
yeah, just
Okay. Also, Deontay's picture looks cooler than just about everybody's here, so that's got to give him at least one extra spot.
I think like top of C would be where I would put him right now.
You put him above Brandon Figueroa?
You've just had him ranked at B.
No, I had him ranked at A.
And you're asking me why I had him ranked above Brandon Figueroa.
If Wilder fought Inoue, who do you think would win? We got to keep Deontay in the A category.
I've given up at this point.
just put Wilder above Fury at this point. Just put AJ above Fury too. He has the better resume, while Fury just has that.
Fury didn't KO Klitschko like Joshua did.
Fury did test positive about 11 months.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, realistically, I think we could put. Is Deontay a B? Is he a B?
I think low B, high C is.
Like he's between him and AJ, they both have a win over one guy on this list. But Wilder has a draw over one guy on this list, and Joshua does
Yeah,
not.
I think if Wilder is at C, he's at like the opposite end of C from AJ. I can accept him in B.
I'd
All
put
right.
them
You know,
pretty close,
Damn, they're
especially
right next to each
'cause
other
Wilder's
still.
older.
I'm gonna move Colbert down just so they're not next to each other. They're better. But, also Colbert and Wilder hate each other, and they're right next to each other now. I think Deontay would knock Colbert the fuck out.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Or down to D.
All right, and our last guy to rank before we do just a recalibration before we sign off, none other than Vasily Lomachenko.
One spot above Tifimo.
How many times are you going to use the one spot above gag?
Okay, hold on. Does Lomachenko have a better resume than the Charlo brothers combined? I think no. That drops him down. And by Stu's metric, nobody has a better resume than Castano. So
is doing 2 tiers above Lomachenko.
So this now puts Lomachenko at D with Gennady Golovkin and Dmitry Bivol and Regis Prograis. I think that is the company he definitely should be trafficking around.
Trafficking?
Actually, he didn't even try to fight against Teofimo for like 8 rounds. He should be a jobber because he really did do the job. I don't know. I don't think Lomachenko's B tier anymore.
Like the way I think about it is like, who is Loma beat who's on this list?
Has he beat anybody on the list?
Yeah, nobody, and he's lost to someone in B tier. So I think I think top of C is fair.
No, we're not moving Gary down. Rollins, Deuce, fuck out of here. You were here to listen to the explanation for why Gary's a B. Yeah. Stu, give him the story.
I can't even remember. Gary, to be fair, the reason he's B is because he was the first person we ranked, and we had no idea.
Okay,
I do kind of agree.
Why Gary's a B.
Just to clarify, Crawford never denied that he got knocked out by Gary. He said it was but he didn't deny that it may have happened.
Exactly. Mr. Gary has a win over Terence Crawford in a street fight. No one else here has a win over Terence Crawford. That's why Mr. Gary's a B.
But Loma beat Nakatani in a way that... So, I don't know. I think he should be one.
Lomachenko can't be an A because he would lose to Shigor.
I think I do agree that if we have Loma in C, we've got to have Gary in C as well.
Now C is too big. Now we got to redo C.
You just want to hate on me.
We'll put Loma in B then.
Would Lomachenko beat John Taylor?
In a way, Loma is 100% better than In.
No, he's not.
In a way, lower.
Right. If we're redoing C, we can move like Castagna up.
No. Okay, Deuce, you is saying that Crawford lost to Saddam Ali in the Olympic trials, and therefore Crawford needs to go to the jobber tier. Which is a good point.
We should bring in some of the audio.
Greg, your audio cutoff thing is too strong and is cutting off what you're saying. Adjust your audio thing. Go to your settings.
No, we don't make him touch his settings again.
And your input sensitivity needs to be lower so it could pick you up.
Or just go and push to talk.
Oh my god, he can't do it. The guy sends us a picture of his microphone and says, "How do I turn it on?"
Okay. I was saying that we should have the audience come in and give...
all right, hold on. Lomachenko. Low and B tier? Is he better than Wilder?
I think it's close. I could kind of see it either way.
Lomachenko would have 3 losses to Wilder or to Fury instead of 2 like Deontay. On a pound-for-pound level, of course. All right, I think this is fair. Do we think that Lomachenko has more left in the tank than Mr. Gary? That's the question.
I think you have to move Gary below Loma, just out of fairness.
We're not putting Mr. Gary in the C tier. How about we move Loma to S tier and Gary to A tier? No? How about... Okay, also, Teofimo, Mr. Gary, and Lomachenko are all in B tier right now. We can't have them all in B tier. Someone has to go C.
We'll move Gary. Gary's an easy one to move to C.
What? Has Mr. Gary done anything better than Castano?
No. I think maybe overall, but in terms of one win, no.
Castano doesn't even have that one.
One fight, should I say.
Haney is better right now than Lomachenko.
Sure.
Why have we moved Haney up above people?
I'm okay with that, actually.
Oh, actually, I thank you for bringing that up, Deuce. B-Fig is far more... I would rate B-Fig above Mr. Gary.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'd actually probably rate him above Castano, even though I know that would piss you off, Stu.
I Fig actually is a good win, so it doesn't annoy me as much.
All right. Now is your time, guys. We've completed and put everyone here that we have pictures for. Throw out names of people we should reevaluate. Put it in the chat. Ian says it's flawless. Greg, any gripes you have right now? Bivol? Where's Bivol at? I don't even know where he's at. He's in the D tier.
I don't even remember where he's at. I don't look.
He's right here. He's in the D tier next to Golovkin and Danny Garcia.
Okay, my biggest gripes are Mikey should honestly just be a jobber after.
Chad, do you agree? Mikey Garcia a jobber?
At the top of the jobbers.
All right. I'll give you above Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., but I'm not putting Mikey above Jake Paul.
Also with Josh Taylor, he barely beat Regis. He barely beat Ramirez. He barely beat Chick. I get he's undisputed, but like, if the belts weren't there, would anyone be nearly this impressive?
I agree with you. I think we can put.
Yeah, but I think in B tier, it's like he's like there's guys like Fulton in there.
We just put Fulton there because we didn't know where to put him. We probably should evaluate where Fulton should go. And he's probably going to lose to Brandon, so like we probably should put him in D tier. To be fair.
Hey, brother.
No. Keith Thurman is a jobber. I settled for putting Keith in E tier, even though I think he should be a jobber. Why do you guys have such an issue with Devin Haney?
No, I like Haney being there.
Fridge is complaining.
AJ and Wilder still closer. I still feel like
there needs to be more distance. All right, I created more distance. What? You don't want them? You think that they shouldn't be in the same tier?
No, I think they should be closer.
Okay, let me ask you guys this question: do you think AJ quit on the fight against Usyk?
I think he kind of just was like, fuck it.
I feel like
chill.
It was that way too. Like AJ just kind of like tapped out. Yeah, I agree. C tier is bloated. We need to move some guys up. We need to move some guys down.
But we always just end up moving just as many people back in.
All right, nobody can go into C tier anymore. There's like, okay, actually, the only way somebody could go into C tier is if we move one or two out. So right now, I think Munguia is on the borderline of I could see him in B, I could see him in D.
If he's on the borderline of both, doesn't that make him one of the people who should stay there?
He's
Probably.
either
Thank you. I've made my case.
Or Regis level talent.
All right. Josh Taylor, I think, is good. Deontay's good.
I think you could move either of them up to B.
I don't know about moving Deontay into B, just because I'm not sure his future. All right. Probably Mr. Gary. No. Mr. Gary's in C because we don't want three guys who've all fought each other in the same division or in the same tier. Let's move Caleb Plant up.
No. I'd
Castano then.
I'd move Castano up before Caleb Plant.
Castano did fight really, really well against Jermell Charlo.
And like I don't think Castano's only good fight as well.
Okay, this guy is over here about to bring up Soro.
I just like Castano, brother.
We figured that out. Oscar Valdez, I think we can make an argument for B tier. Flatten Miguel Burchelt, got by a positive drug test.
Yeah, I'd say it's like what else has he done though?
I'd say the opposite argument.
He beat an Olympic
Valdez is one of those
medalist.
people who have so little faith in he's just had so many close calls, like 5 wins. Like fucking Adam Lopez's last fight.
I think if we've moved Fulton down to D, we've got to move Caldera down to D.
Yeah, I think.
I already moved Valdez. Sorry. All right, who's better, Valdez or Colbert?
I think Colbert's probably better, but in terms of this tier list, my take is like if Fulton's in D, Colbert has to be below him because I think Fulton is undisputably better than Colbert.
All right, we switch them then.
Yeah, I'll take a switch.
Wait, how did Fulton get the D?
I don't like Colbert, so I'm gonna put him after Danny Garcia.
I think it's tough though because Danny's not fought. Well, he's not fought someone good for so long.
All right,
but
I hate
he's
Colbert's
lost
hair.
that.
His hair, so he's gonna have to be below Danny. All right, anybody that needs to climb up. Do you think we were too harsh on somebody like, say, Keith Thurman?
Yeah, Keith Thurman and S, brother.
I think you can put Thurman next to Ortiz. I feel like they're in some.
It's so tough to rank Thurman though because ultimately at this point he
hasn't
is
fought in almost
inactive.
3
He's like
years.
it would almost like he's almost, you can't rank him because he's not fighting.
Him, Golovkin, and Mikey need their own category. They can come in shape or they could be done.
Oh, I forgot. We can add a new category. I think we should add midgets. Let's see. Add a new category. What category would we add?
Inactive or don't care or past prime.
No. That's like half the list already gone into these
No,
two
but
categories.
like Mikey and Keith are like really, you know.
All right, let's recap what everything is. The S tier is the best of the best, like the literal elite class of their own. That's obviously Canelo. The A class is the very best boxing has to offer. These are the guys that I think are going to be around for a long time or have accomplished enough in their career to solidify themselves as, like, you know, if we need to put together the best boxers on the planet, these are the guys we're going with. Tank, Spence, Tyson Fury, Usyk, Terrence Crawford, Naoya Inoue, Jaron Ennis, Shakur Stevenson. All right, chat. If you guys have issues with this, make sure you make it known. Fury to S tier. Somebody mute Fridge. B tier. This is like, these guys are very solid world champions, capable. They may even beat an A tier guy, but they will certainly beat everybody below them. But they're not invincible, stuff like that. Doobie says move Wilder down for drawing with a Ben Davison fighter and move Josh Taylor down for being a Ben Davison fighter. What about Devin Haney, though? He raises a good point. We may have to consider that a bit of advice. All right, the B tier. The Charlo brothers, and we're not separating them. They're just one for the sake of this list. Teofimo, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko. We have an issue here, guys. There's three guys in the same division. And Brian Castano.
We've got to leave the trying to separate people in the same division because we've worked hard getting people out of C. We can't move people back in.
We've moved hard getting people out of C, yet it's still the biggest category. C.
I mean, it should be a bell curve, you know. C should be the biggest category.
So
you can move Haney down one and then move Munguia down.
We're not moving Munguia down. Munguia is, the floor for him is C. It's potentially B, but not C. Deuce says that we should have a tier for Jack Reese fighters between B and C, which would put Ugas in that category ahead of Fury. Ugas got jobbed in the Sean Porter fight, and then also Fury got the long count in the first Wilder fight. I think that's fair. Can we put Gabe Rosado in here because he was about to knock out Munguia, and Jack Reese stopped him? Okay, what tier are we on? C tier? C tier is like, these are good fighters, world champion level, but like they're gonna hot potato the belt at some point. Deontay Wilder, Josh Taylor, David Benavidez, Brandon Figueroa, Mr. Gary Russell, Jaime Munguia, Yordenis Ugas, Caleb Plant, Virgil Ortiz, Stephen Fulton, and Anthony Joshua. D tier. These are the vulnerable guys who are champions in their weight class, I would say. Oscar Valdez, Gennady Golovkin, Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, Danny Garcia, Chris Colbert, Regis Prograis, and Ryan Garcia. I actually think Prograis might be too high. Looking at the list, there's no way Regis Prograis is above Joe Smith Jr.
No way?
I disagree heavily
What the
with that. I put Andrade better than Regis. I'd put and them both better than Joe Smith.
No. Regis is a E.
Ryan should definitely be above Regis, I think, too. I would switch Andrade and Regis.
Deuce, why don't you unmute yourself, you idiot? E tier. These are the guys who contender / like weak title holder. Demetrius Andrade, Luis Ortiz, Roman Gonzalez, Juan Francisco Estrada, Joe Smith Jr., Chris Eubank Jr., Keith Thurman, Dillian White. And then the jobbers, Jake Paul, Mikey Garcia, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Huey Fury, Ilunga Makabu, and Tommy Fury. So Ian says that we should drop Virgil into D tier. Where would he go in the D tier? Is he better than Oscar Valdez? No. I think Virgil's behind Golovkin. I think he's behind Beterbiev. I think he's behind Bivol. Yeah, I can see him right there. Right between Danny Garcia and Bivol.
I think he's a lot better than Beterbiev. Virgil is. belts aside, the two belts of opposition isn't that different.
Deuce says that the list would be infinitely better if we moved Brandon Figueroa and Yordenis Ugas to B tier. What do you guys think?
Well, I think Figueroa you could definitely consider more. I think I'm just hesitant rank him too high.
Ian says drop Andrade from the list entirely for being a fighter Mannix likes. I don't know, guys. I think I got it. I think we got it right here. This is the list.
I feel like Beterbiev should be below Dan.
Beterbiev should be below who?
Danny.
No, Danny doesn't even give a fuck about boxing anymore.
Beterbiev does. What was his last fight again?
The list is disrespectful to who? You know what we should have done is put the chat as part of the video. That would have been pretty good.
Twitch chat? Like
a Twitch chat, yeah. Or we should have just did this on Twitch and then, but it would have been harder because we would have known whose people's names were. But how is the list disrespectful? He's typing. What do you think people are going to have? Dude, that's what I'm trying to say. I think Prograis is not a D tier fighter. There's no way Prograis is better than Andrade.
Wait, yeah, that's what we all agreed on. Why didn't we?
Why is he in D? I'm going to put Prograis one above Dillian White. No. He gets scammed on timeshares. He's got to be in the jobber category. Plus, the fight that he wants is Mikey Garcia, so let's just put them next to each other.
I still think Andrade is better than Beterbiev.
We can't put Andrade anywhere above E tier. Come on now. No, he also fights tomorrow, and if he loses, we'll look so stupid if we put him as a D tier.
No, I'm saying the opposite. We should move Beterbiev down.
We're not moving Beterbiev into E tier. Are you crazy?
He's had one relevant fight. Literally got dropped every other name from memory.
Deuce says Ugas retired a legend. Bud couldn't even get the fight. 7 years he didn't get the Pacquiao fight. Ugas got it on accident with a week to prepare. That is the strongest case I've heard for Ugas. I think we move Ugas to B tier. All right, actually, is Ugas better than Josh Taylor?
I think it's pretty close, honestly. I wouldn't.
All right.
I could say so, yeah.
We are going to call it right here. Stu, I'll give you one last second, sort of like, since you've been here the whole time, you get to choose. Is there any movement you think we need to do before we finalize this?
I think there is no way I move someone without it just creating a shit show of more people moving.
No,
so I'm going to leave it as it is.
We're going to bite our tongue unless it's really, really egregious.
I'm going to say nothing.
Seriously?
There is a couple, but I'm going to respect the process.
Stu, respect to you. Greg?
Valdez below Ryan Garcia.
Wow. I think he's right, guys. I think he's right.
I genuinely just think there's like 6 people.
Greg, your mic is cutting out. What did you say?
I was saying I think there's like 6 people on this list. But we probably don't have the time for that.
All right. Chat, anything you guys want to move around before we finalize this? All right, well, this is it. We have finished. We have ranked the tiers of fighters. There are some guys who are not here that we forgot. That's okay. I just forgot to get their pictures. That because they're not here does not mean that they don't belong on the list or on any of these tiers. Okay, totally fine. We will come back again. I mean, maybe there's other fighters you want to see us do other things. We'll do this again. But that is going to be all for this time. If you have any issues, what is old Stu Mac on Twitter? Hit him up and say you did a bad job with the list. Otherwise, we'll be back. I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back.